Okay, so this is going to be a short mod of the battery pack. As you can see, mine's already been stripped because I've got other issues with it, but I'm taking the battery pack from the back there because I constantly tilt it all the time, and I'm going to put it in the front so as it moves the weight forward and keeps front wheels down. So I'd already done the mod, but I just thought it might be an idea for me to just film it so as you can see what I've done as an improvement on other mods that are out there. So first of all, I've removed the battery tray from the back and left the straps on the bottom side, but I've just cut the top off. So as you can see that, I'll just bring that up a bit closer, because if you don't take that off, you can't get the battery in when it's in the frame. So you have to take it off level with where the two holes are for your straps, right the way through, but leave the ends on, and then that stops your battery flopping about backwards and forwards. Now the other thing is that I've noticed that if you leave this bracket on and use an M3 screw, what you can do is you can screw straight through it into the frame beneath, because you will still have the bracket there for your electrical box. So if you just, after you've cut it, I sanded it a little bit. I used the electric hobby enthusiast tool, and then sanded it with a tiny little bit of wet and dry just to straighten him all up, make him look a bit more presentable. Keep the straps on. Now the other thing I did have to do before I go any further is I did snip my interior so as it gives. Otherwise, if you don't, it's going to be so tight, everything's going to move. One thing moves, the lot moves, so you're better off just snipping that back. Like I say, you've only got to snip it probably about 1.5 centimeters along from this corner, and then the whole thing will give. You still end up keeping the interior in there and stops any water splashing up a little bit, not a lot but a bit. It helps. Right, so then basically get your tray in, and it'll be all over the place until you start screwing it down and doing little bits to it. So once you've got it in, you'll notice that from underneath, look, you can see that that screw fits perfectly to that hole. Once you've got that in, just screw that down. Sorry, but it's a bit cold in here today. Not turn the heater on yet. There you go. So once you've screwed that down, make sure you put the head this side, because if you don't, any excess that you've left on the screw will stop the battery getting in. So as you can see, it's already sitting there quite nicely. Now the other problem was I couldn't figure out how to get this tray to stay where it was. So what I came up with was this. If you take a typical cable clip and you remove the nail out of it, you end up with one of these. So what I then did was I drilled 2 holes just by what you've got, like an X effect on your battery tray. There's already one at the end, but it meets with that post, so I drilled one about 1 centimeter back on both ends to accommodate your usual frame screws, you know, for the plastic. And then basically what you do is you put these on there like so, turn them around a bit. Now thing is, I haven't cut my screws down, so they're probably gonna touch the back of my dashboard, but that I'm not too stressed about, because I did actually realise that it was actually making that dashboard a little bit more solid. so I just left them as they were. Right, so don't go mad pushing too hard, because you'll spin them round and you'll have to get in there and get them back out again. So just slowly but surely, just let it take its own position as well, because it will basically sit where it wants to sit. Do the second one. Believe me, when I first did this it was a bit of a pain in the arse, but now it's fine. So that's your second one. Just going in a little bit tighter. Now what you want to do is just push down on it a little bit and it stops those clips spinning round. As you can see, that is holding that battery plate in there nice and tight. The other thing is, it's not going to move at all. Okay, so you've got it in. Obviously, you know, if you've got a different type frame to me, you might find your bonnet may need sorting out. But the only other option that you've got really is you've probably got about 3mm that you could drill that hole slightly higher and maybe just gain what you want. I mean, I'm sort of lucky that I've gone aluminium, so on mine it doesn't matter too much. I can get away with probably a mil or two before it would start showing. I am doing other things to it anyway, so mine fits perfectly on there. So as you can see, you don't butcher it, you don't lose your straps, your battery will now fit in there nice and neatly. Now it depends on how you want to run your cable. I am looking at running mine through this way because my box is actually going to go in here, which will be another tutorial I'll do, and the ESC probably somewhere in the front of it. All the weight's brought forward, so as I say, my battery pack will go in there like that. That gives it its space. The straps are still there, so you can still use your straps. Tighten him up, just tuck him down there. There you go, really. I mean, I was just so fed up with seeing so many tutorials where they just totally butcher their car, man, and then they end up with their ESC sitting on the seat and, you know, cables running all over the shop. That I just thought, well, this is me. I mean, I've got options now where I can run my cable wherever I want. So, there you go. That's our first tutorial. Thank you very much.